Good morning. This is a brief presentation about Dr. Sean Kelly, who teaches at Santa Barbara City College in the Earth and Planetary Sciences Department. And so I just wanted to share with my students, good morning, how are you? Who am I? Right, I'm your teacher. So who am I? So take a look at this. This is our, let's see if we can, oh, that didn't work. Hold on. I figured this out. I know how to do this. Okay, it's funny. Okay, here we go. So back to welcome everybody to Earth 101 Introductory Astrology. And supposed to stop and go, huh? And then you can click and say, just kidding, this is Introductory Astronomy. What is the difference actually? And the answer is one of them is a science, astronomy is a science, and astrology is called a pseudoscience. Pseudo really means false, so it's a false science. It looks kind of like a science sometimes, but if you test it, you will find it doesn't work. So astronomy is based on the scientific method. That's a method that we use in all of the fields, every field of science, to pursue new knowledge and to grow current knowledge, and also to perfect the knowledge that we understand, right? So it is tested continuously by experiment and represents the current state of our understanding of the universe. So astrology is very popular, but if you look carefully, you'll find out it is not a strict science. It makes many predictions, but if you test the predictions in a regular way, you find out that it's not consistent and not repeatable. So who am I? I'm Dr. Sean Kelly. I have a PhD in experimental solid state physics. Before I became a full-time faculty, I worked as an adjunct in physics and astronomy for 6 years. And this is my 5th year teaching as a full-time faculty, and I love my job. This is the best job I've ever had in my life. My job is to teach you amazing, wonderful things about the universe, and I can't help but feel excited every time I teach because there's always something new to share. So I do want you to know, though, that in academia, the title is meant to just indicate how much effort you put in. So doctor means I put in a lot of effort. I wrote a PhD thesis and published several papers. So you want to know that I went to school for a long time. I do have some foundation to build off of. But in academia, when we're working together, we don't care about the title so much. And so I want you to know that you and I, we have a job together, and that job together is to lift you up. And so my job and your job is to bring you to the fullness of your ability, and whatever that happens to be, do the best that you can in this course. And so you and I together are collaborators, and as collaborators, I invite you to call me Sean. So you can call me Sean, or if you don't like that, you can call me Dr. Kelly, Professor. If you want to call me something, please don't call me Mr. Kelly, because the Mr., when I got my PhD, I was no longer a Mr. So I want to share with you a couple of things about me, and I've labeled this my favorite celestial objects. And why this is not important, it's not on any exam, it's just me, and I want to share with you. So number one, there it is, the most beautiful star that you have ever seen. It is the sun. It is the source of heat and light that brings life to the earth, right? So we need it, and without it, we would be a big old snowball. And here is the first flower ever grown in space. It's called a zinnia. And I guess the reason why I love it, it was just such an amazing accomplishment to grow a flower in space. But why is it important to me? And if you stop and think about it, growing flowers is not that essential, but what about food? And so you'll be happy to know that since then, they've managed to grow quite a few different fruits and vegetables, not too many fruits except tomatoes, but mainly vegetables in space that allow the astronauts on the International Space Station to eat fresh foods, right? Which is kind of a pretty cool thing. Imagine that you had to take a 2-year journey from the Earth and you had fresh fruits and vegetables. It'd be a lot better than just eating freeze-dried stuff. And here is my favorite planet. My favorite planet is Saturn, and the nickname for astronomers is the Lord of the Rings. and it is spectacular. And I promise you that if you haven't seen Saturn, the first time you see it will be a revelation, and it's just breathtaking. It's beautiful. So right now, the only time to see it is if you get up before dawn. But it is, going to be coming early and earlier in the late evening. So at some point in the future, hopefully coronavirus will be done and we will be able to look through telescopes together. And I would love for you to see Saturn. You will be absolutely amazed. This is just amazing. This is the largest star that we've ever heard about. I think it's just incredible. And I love the name more than anything. It's called Uyscuti, right? I love you, Uyscuti. You're amazing. And in fact, it's 1,700 times the size of our sun. So there's our little teeny sun, and this is the star. This is an amazing thing. Just to be aware that this is the largest star that we've ever seen, Uyscuti. And what about this star? This is my Mary Sunshine. This is Mary, my wife Mary. We've been together for 20 years now, and she is sunshine in my life. And before I became an astronomy teacher, actually my nickname for her was my Mary Sunshine, and she is still a ray of light in my life, and I love her. And this is my son Connor, and I love him very much. He's 19 years old and growing up to be a strapping young man. He's taller than I am. It's like almost 6'3" now. And I also have, thanks to Mary, who had a son before me, I have 2 grandkids. And so these are my grandkids. My grandson Brendan, who's 13, and my granddaughter Molly, who's 5 now. And they live in New York. So we get to see them about once a year, but not enough. Anyways, that's a little bit about me. And I thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you a little bit better and having a fun time with astronomy. Earth 101, Introductory Astronomy. Thanks.